Hello, and thanks for joining me for basic yoga, where the intention will be to raise our vibrations to feel better, better than before yoga class, whatever that is for you, and also to feel clean and clear and to bring health and vitality to our bodies and to all the layers within it. So let's get to our yoga mat, and you might have some blocks, you might have strap, no props are needed. There's always variations that we can do. But let's come on to our yoga mat and take a comfortable seat. And sit in happy pose or sukhasana, taking our hands together in front of the heart, having our eyes closed, tapping within, sitting nice and tall on the sit bones, softening the outer layers. Setting an intention for our practice, whatever that might mean for you. And if you need one from me, it would be to raise our vibrations today. To raise our vibrations, to see things more clearly, to listen to our body. Take a nice big inhale for an Om if you'd like to join. And exhale, release the hands, open your eyes, and let's come on to all fours, spreading the fingers nice and wide, taking the wrist creases aligned with the yoga mat, tucking the toes under, arching the spine up to the sky, opening the pathways in the back of the body by hugging in the front. And exhale, concaving into the back, into the spine, and exhaling with our spine up towards the sky. Inhaling, letting the spine flow like a nice big wave all the way up towards the sky and then all the way down towards the earth. And we'll do 3 more of those. Exhaling, finding all the vertebrae. Inhaling. And 1 more. Exhaling. And inhaling. And coming back to neutral spine. And taking the knees back and coming over into downward facing dog. Pedaling into the back of the legs, back of the heels, Achilles, calf. Come up onto the toes and bend the knees. And spreading your fingers nice and wide and pulling the upper arm bones up and away from the floor and plugging in the upper arm bones in towards the shoulders and getting a nice big long stretch from the shoulders to the hips, hips to the shoulders, to the wrist and down to the fingers. Nice. And exhale, take your heels towards the floor as we stay plugged in the upper body. And from here, coming all the way forward, feet to hands, inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, forward fold. And sinking all the way down into your seat and coming onto your seat, heels to the floor, arms forward and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae all the way towards the floor and take our arms up and over. Circle the hands to the sides, take your hands on your thighs and look up and roll through vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, coming all the way up and exhaling, rolling back down, kind of like our cat-cow, but with a little bit more awareness in towards the belly. And exhale, hands to the sides, looking up towards the knees, hands by the legs and rolling up, bringing your arms up to the sky. And exhale, roll back down. Arms can come out to the sides, arms over the head, and we'll do it 2 more times. Take your hands to the side, look up towards the knees, and roll it all the way up, doing our best to roll through the vertebrae. Sometimes that's really hard. Some days it works really well, and some days it works less well. So we'll just take it to where it feels the best for us. Take the arms to the side one more time and rolling it all the way up. Nice. And exhale, come all the way back down onto the back. Arms over the head. And then from here, take your hands out to the side. Bring your legs up into tabletop. Squeeze the knees together. And palms can face up or palms can face down. And then we're just going to tip our hips, tip our knees over to the right side. And taking it up and over, turning and churning in towards the waist, in towards the midline, in towards the organs, and unleashing any stagnation side to side. And we just roll over to the outside of the hip, stacking the knees above and below each other, doing our best to keep the shoulder blades on towards the floor. Moving, breathing. One more each side, and bringing it all the way back up and over to the second side. Take the knees up to the center, bring your knees in towards the chest, and roll it all the way up. Cross at the ankles, and come back to downward facing dog. A little bit clearer with the spine, a little bit clearer into the belly, in towards the front of the spine, in towards the back of the spine. Spread the fingers, lift the upper arm bones, come up onto the toes, bend the knees, take your step to your hands, inhale, long spine, exhale, fold, hands to hips, elbows to sky, press the feet, come all the way up to standing, and release the hands. Sweep the arms up towards the sky. Take your right wrist and give yourself a crescent over towards the left side. Squeeze the arms around the ears and gently come up to the center, second side. Take your left wrist over towards the right side and bring it all the way back up and hands to the sides. So we'll do one more crescent by stepping the right foot behind the left. Take the right arm up and over and give yourself a nice big crescent stretch, more in towards the iliac crest, towards the outer layers of the hip. Holding on to that right wrist, leaning on towards the right hip, bending the left knee, and then gently come back up, hands to the sides, and step your feet together. Take a pause, breathe into the feet and the hands. And take your left foot behind your right. Sweep that left arm up and take your right wrist around your left. And take your arms over to the right side, sinking in towards the left outer hip. Sinking nice and deep and untying any knots on the left side of the waist. So there's no stagnation, there's like this nice even flow on the whole side of the body. And then gently bring it back up and hands to the sides, feet together. Hands can turn all the way out. Inhale, bring your palms up towards the sky. And exhale, hinge and fold into Uttanasana, forward fold. Bending in towards the knees. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. Place your hands to the floor, step your left foot back. Take your left knee towards the floor. Inhale, arms forward and up. Anjasana. Taking your outer hips forward, tucking the back toes and giving yourself a little push with your back toes. And at the same time, hug from your front foot, from your back foot into the midline. Take your left elbow to your right knee, palms together, and a nice, gentle, wide open twist. Take the gaze up towards the sky. One more breath here, and exhale, release. Gaze down, hands to the floor. Step your left knee off the mat and take a step forward for Uttanasana, forward fold. And then from here, step your right foot back. Take your knee to the floor. Sweep your arms forward and up for Anjasana, low lunge. Come forward in the outer hips. Give yourself a nice big stretch into the right hip flexor, in towards the side of the waist, in towards the chest and the heart. And then from here, take your right elbow to your left knee, palms together, lifting it all the way up and letting the gaze come up over your left shoulder, twisting and turning the organs, getting any stagnation energy unstuck so that the higher vibrations can reach us. And then exhale, release, gaze down, hands to the floor, step forward, lift your back knee, take a nice big step towards the front. Exhale, Uttanasana. Place your hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Roll forward onto your plank pose and lower all the way to the floor. Widen your hands. Inhale to cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale, release. Roll all the way back down. Hands by the shoulders. Come up to all fours and come to downward facing dog. From here, come up onto your toes. Bend the knees, look between the hands. Take a step over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. We'll stay here. Bring the feet together and step your left foot back. Take a nice big step back for a crescent lunge. So before we raise our arms up, sometimes I know we're eager to take the arms up. Let's stay right here. Pull the front foot and the back foot towards the midline. Arc the spine towards the sky. Plug the front side all the way in. And then send energy down the legs into the feet, into the heart of earth as you reach your arms up. Stay nice and plugged in. You can lift your gaze up, take it all the way up towards the sky. And then exhale from here. Take your left elbow to your right knee for twist. Palms together. Plug everything in towards the center line. Maybe take the gaze up over your right shoulder. And exhale, release. Gaze down and hands to the floor. Take a step forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Feet together if available. Take a nice big fold. Step your right foot back, please. Pull your front foot and your back foot towards the midline and arc the spine to the sky, plugging all muscles into the midline. From there, send energy down the legs as you raise your arms up at the same time. And then we'll sink down and open up in towards the hips, in towards the right hip flexor, and celebrate the arms up towards the sky. It's like our little antennas up here for downloads that are just for us. And then exhale, release. Take your twist with your right elbow to your left knee, palms together. Top palm into the bottom. Take the gaze over your left shoulder. Breathing, twisting, cleaning and clearing. And then exhale, release. Gaze down, hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog from here. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And roll all the way forward to your plank pose. And lower to the floor. Widen your hands. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. For your cobra. Inner shoulder wraps. Kind of, it's like somebody's holding your hands and pulling you gently back into the upper back. And then exhale, release. Bring it all the way back down. Hands by the shoulders. Come up onto all fours. Plug your toes, downward facing dog. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Inhaling any stagnation, anything that feels stuck. We might not even know what it is. Take an inhale to whatever that is and exhale it out. We'll do it 2 more times with intention of making more space for higher vibrations for us. And 1 more. And come up onto your toes, bend your knees. Take a step over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky, root your feet. Come all the way up to standing. bring the feet together. Bend your knees and touch your middle finger to the floor. Inhale, take the arms forward, pull the upper arm bones in, and the arms can stay right here for chair pose. They could also come up at an angle up towards the ears. It's wherever it feels comfortable for your shoulders, for your back. And maybe the gaze comes up to tap in to some more space in the upper back. From here, take your left elbow to your right knee. Palms together, twisting and turning into new layers of the body. Take the gaze up over the right shoulder. Give yourself a few breaths right here. And exhale, release the gaze. Hands to the floor. Come back up into our chair pose with the arms forward or arms up towards the sky. Maybe tapping into the upper back and at the same time toning into the belly. Take your right elbow to your left knee. Chair pose twist, Utkatasana, Perswa variation. Palms are centered in front of the sternum, wringing out anything from a different angle, from a different twist in the side body, in the organs. It's like a reset by twisting. Taking the gaze up over the left shoulder. And exhale, release, gaze down. Hands to the floor. One more chair pose. Inhale, bring it all the way up and come up to standing. And exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Excellent. You might step a little bit in onto your yoga mat. Come up onto the toes, feet together, knees to the side. And again, up onto the toes, heels down. Up on the toes, feet together, knees to the side. And again, bringing it all the way up and then heels down. We'll do one more time. Come up on the toes, feet together, knees to the side, and extend it back up, and then sink the heels all the way down. Nice, a few breaths right here. And step both feet back to down dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're going to come back to that in a little while. From here, come onto your knees and your toes and your hands. Take your right leg out. Behind you, straight back, spread your toes, heel up, toes down. Take your right knee to your right elbow. And kind of crunch and massage and compress the right side. Bring it back out. With muscles hugging in, bring your knee back in. And you might take your knee over towards the shoulder, which means a little bit more lifting, a little bit more muscles hugging in. We'll do two more. Make it 5. Knee to shoulder. Take it back out. And again, knee to shoulder. And make some memory and hold your knee right there. And then exhale, take it back out and switch to the second side. Take your left leg out, straight behind you. Take your knee to your elbow and hold it there. And then bring it back out. And we just keep doing that. And the knee might start to hike up towards the shoulder, towards the armpit. And then we'll squeeze the knee in towards the arm and extend it back out. 2 more. It's like a nice big hugging in onto the left side. And a nice big plugging all organs in, all muscles into the midline. Release your foot all the way down. Take your hands around the yoga mat, feet wide as your mat, and come into tiger dog or a down dog with bent knees, high up on the toes, and with the gaze forward. And tapping in towards the upper back. And then exhale, bring it all the way towards downward facing dog, please. From here, step 1 foot between the hands. I'm stepping my left foot between my hands so I can see you guys. Turn the toes in, please. Come into feet wide apart, hinge, Prasarita Padottanasana, hinge variation. I like to take my feet at the edge of the yoga mat. In the back, And then from here, just gonna stay right here and bend into the knees. Pull the inner edges of the feet towards the midline. And take your hands underneath your shoulders. This way we have our hands onto the yoga mat. Take your right hand in the center, left hand to your sacrum, and press your hand and your sacrum into each other. Sweep the left arm up, big wide crescent twist. And exhale, take it back down, switch sides. Left hand onto the center, straight down from the shoulder, right hand to your sacrum. Twist and turning in towards the torso, taking your right arm up towards the sky, and get the twist kind of in a little bit different angle. Maybe this is more spaciously divided between the ribs, rib cage, shoulders, maybe a little bit more throat, neck twisting. Exhale, release. Hands back down to the floor. From here, take the heel of the hands aligned with the heel of the feet. Arc your spine to the sky and take your head towards the floor. Maybe it's levitating off the floor. Maybe the head comes towards the floor. We're just going to pull the fingertips down and the heel of the hands down. Breathing, opening in towards the back of the legs. And gently extend the arms. And we're going to stay right here in wide angle, coming into Trikonasana. We're going to turn the right heel in today, which makes the width between the feet a little shorter, and it might be a little bit more accessible. If you need more space for your muscles of the legs, then turn your toes more instead out, and that way you'll have a little bit more width between your feet. Take your right hand behind your right shin ankle, and this is where you might have your block, you might have your hand on your leg. Take your left hand to your hip and press into the mounts of the big toes, to the inner edges of the feet. Turn the body up towards the sky. Take the left arm all the way up. Trikonasana, triangle pose. And letting the energy soar from the feet, from the bottom of the feet to the palms, to the top of the head. And circulate and clean and clear, raising vibrations by just holding our Trikonasana pose. And then exhale, take your left hand to your hip, take the gaze down and step up into Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon with your left leg 90 degrees lifted. And tailbone goes over down towards the extended heel. You can look over towards your foot and slightly bow in. Take your left arm up towards the sky, and maybe from here, take your gaze up and challenge yourself with your gaze up towards your thumb, or somewhere near their thumb, or just somewhere up into space. Pull the ribs in. Extend out through the mounts of the big toes. And then from here, take it all the way back down, hand to hip, bend into your standing leg, and step it back to Trikonasana. And come with your arm up towards the sky, and then hands to the floor, and come forward to feet wide apart towards me again. Bend into your knees, take your hands forward, Prasarna hinge, and from here come back with your hands in the center and turn your left heel in or your left toes out, whichever works for you. Just kind of check that your heel is aligned with the arch of your right foot. Trikonasana, left hand behind your left shin ankle. You can take your right hand to the hip. You can press into the mounts of the big toes. Take the bottom ribs forward, top ribs back. Sweep the right arm up towards the sky. The gaze can stay up. Or you can certainly take your gaze down wherever it feels comfortable and grounded for you. And then exhale from here. Take your hand to your hip. Take your gaze in front of your left middle big toe. Just kind of a foot forward and bend your front knee. Step it up into Ardha Chandrasana, lifting your right leg 90 degrees. And pulling the lower belly in and tailbone over towards the right inner heel. Maybe your right arm comes up towards the sky. Maybe your gaze comes up towards your thumb or somewhere near it. And give yourself a smile as we're just hanging out in all these different yoga poses and cleaning and clearing our bodies and raising our vibrations. And exhale, release hand to the hip, bend your knee and step it back to Trikonasana. Right arm up, and then exhale, hand to the floor. And from here we're going to step it back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Roll into your plank pose, vertebrae by vertebrae. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. And then come all the way down onto the belly. Widen your hands, elbows to the sky and slightly bent. And then pull your elbows back and pull your shoulders back. Raise your chest, your heart, your lungs. Take your ears back. And then exhale, release. Bring it all the way back down to the floor. Hands by the shoulders. Come all the way up onto all fours, please. And arc the spine towards the sky. Top of the head towards the floor. Breathing, softening. And hollow upper arm bones, arcing the spine. And exhale, bringing it all the way back up. And again, one more time. And one more, spine to sky. Come back to neutral spine. Tuck the toes, come into downward facing dog. From here, we're going to take the feet all the way together. Take your right heel up towards the horizon and take your knee to the elbow. Knee to elbow. And you know that you could always come down onto your left knee and do just this like we did before. Sweep it back up. Knee to elbow or knee to shoulder, knee to armpit. One more. Bring it all the way over and take it back out and switch legs. Take your left heel up to the horizon, knee to elbow, claw your fingertips, bring it back out, and we'll keep that going as the knee comes over to the elbow or to your shoulder. We'll have a nice feeling of hugging skin to muscle, muscle to bone, and feeling fully plugged in and blasting through the layers of our physical body, energetic body, and cleaning and clearing any stagnation. And then we'll take 3 breaths right here into our downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. Step your feet over to your hands. Take yourself so that you are more in the middle of the mat than in the front. Take the palm of the hands underneath your feet. Hasta Padasana. Going to just give our wrists a little bit of a love-in, a little massage, a little update, a little nudge, a little vibration changer. I like to get that heel of the hand under the mound of the foot and really just kind of give it a little massage as I spread the fingers and getting a nice stretch in towards the wrists. Top of the head towards the floor, elbows out to the side, long neck. And release. Take your hands to the hips, elbows to sky. Come all the way up to standing, and from here we are going to come to the front of the yoga mat. Take your hands to the side, sweep the arms all the way up, and exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Step your left foot back. Take your left foot flat onto the floor, warrior one, sweeping the arms up towards the sky with your palms shoulder width apart, wrist, arms shoulder width apart. You can bend your front knee and push into the back foot, turn your right hip back, your left hip forward, so your hips and your shoulders are facing to the front. From here, open your arms towards the right side, twisting your warrior one pose. You can take the gaze over towards your thumb, and exhale, take it all the way back up. Inhale, palms together, and exhale, hands to the floor. Step your back foot forward for forward fold, Uttanasana. Step your right foot back, please. Take your right foot all the way to the floor. Bend your front knee. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Shoulder width apart with your arms, with your wrists. Push into the back foot. Lift long from the side of the waist towards the shoulders and open up your warrior one towards your left side. So it's like an open wide twist to update more vibrations that runs along the body. And take your arms back up towards the sky. Warrior one, palms together. And exhale, hands to the floor. Step it back this time for downward facing dog. And from here, roll over onto plank pose. Round your spine and then hover your knees slightly over the yoga mat. And extend your knees and your heels back. And again, hover your knees over your yoga mat and extend it back out. We'll do 3 more. Knees are hovering. Should be a nice little tug in towards the belly. A nice little awareness in towards the abdominals. And again, knees hovering over the mat. Pull it back down. Last one. Hovering the knees over the mat. And then bring it all the way back to down dog. Come all the way down onto your knees. Let's give our wrist a little pause. Palms together, elbows and shoulders are stacked. Take your dolphin pose. Half down dog, forearms on the floor, head is off the floor. You might walk your feet forward. You might sink your heels down and still stay nice and open in the upper body. And move it back and forth a little bit, stretching into the back of the legs. Breathing. It's getting that long side body, getting that nice, bright, clean and clear side of the waist from the hip to the shoulders. Come back down to the knees. Down dog. Walk your feet halfway in. Walk your hands halfway in. And they'll have a little meeting in the middle. Bring your feet all the way together. Come and bend your knees. Take your arms forward. Pull the upper arm bones in. Come to your chair pose with your arms over your head. Pull your belly in. Plug the front side and come up onto the toes. Staying fully present into the body, blasting everything from the skin to muscle, muscle to bone, and staying right here, right now. And then exhale, release the heels down and fold, Uttanasana, forward fold. Come up onto your toes again, feet together, knees wide. Take your knees and bring them over towards the shoulders. Squeeze your knees onto the upper arms. Come up onto your toes, feet stay together. Lean forward, claw your fingertips. Take your Bakasana. Maybe it's a one leg that lifts up. Maybe it's both feet that comes off. And then find your feet back together. Press into your fingertips. Squeeze your knees around your arms. And then from there, exhale, come back down. Take a little pause in a squat, hugging your knees and folding, just hugging in. There was a lot of energy going out, and then we want to make sure that we embrace the new energy that floated our way. It's like a constant exchange, and I think yoga is a great way to do that exchange. And then we'll do one more crow pose, one more bakasana. Spread the fingers, wrist creases are aligned with the front of the yoga mat. Come up onto the toes, bend your knees, sink down. So you can sit right here. This is perfect. We could come and squeeze the knees around the elbows, spread your fingers, come forward, and maybe one foot, maybe both feet together, and stretch into your arms. Squeeze your knees around your arms, look forward, and exhale. Bring it back down. And from here, come and lay onto your back. Hug your knees in. Same shape as we did when we squatted, but this time we get to do it without any weight onto the feet. We'll just hug it all the way in. So those balancing poses, arm balancing poses, sure does blast energies and vibrations through all layers of our body. Things that we're holding on to have a chance to escape because we are so focused on our holding our midline and so focused in the present that things that sometimes are weighing us down, they take off. They don't want to hang out and do crow pose because that's too much presence. It's too much being in the moment. Take your head to the floor and take your hands around the yoga mat. Press your head down, shoulder blades underneath you. Lift your outer hips up, and just to take them back down again. And bring them up. And take them back down. And bring your hips up towards the sky. And back down. We'll do two more. Bring it all the way up. Letting the sacrum stretch the opposite direction than from our crow pose. And then this last one, let's take the hips up towards the sky. Bring your shoulder blades underneath you. Take your palms together, interlace them if that works. If not, hold your hands around the yoga mat or place your hands flat. Use the muscles of your glutes, of your legs, back of the legs. Press and ground in through the feet. Take your bridge pose, bend, and drape it up towards the upper back. And give yourself a smile. And exhale, release the hands, and roll it all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Excellent. Take your feet wide as the yoga mat, arms out to the side, and take your right knee in the center, left leg out to the side. Bring it up and over. And bring it over, side to side, and side to side. And last one. And then from here, come with your knees up. Take your knees into the chest. Extend your left leg and hold on to the right knee. Plugging your right femur in. Taking your right leg up towards the sky. Stretching out through the toes, spreading your fourth and your fifth toe. And bending your knee back in and switching sides. Left knee into the chest. untying any knots in the lower back, untying any knots in the hips. Stretch your left leg up towards the sky, clearing the pathways through the knees, through the ankles, through the hips, making sure that there's no stagnant energy, and the energy that we exhaled and twisted and turned and churned out of our layers, that they have a way of kind of just floating off, and then we can from there absorb and download new energies. Bend your knee back in, the ones that are super appropriate for us, that has wisdom, that has lots of creativity for us coming our way, whatever that is for us. Maybe it will be clear in the following days. Maybe it'll be clear right after the yoga class. Take your arms out to the side, hug your knees in, and we're going to roll up and stretch your legs forward. Take your inner thighs wide back and apart. Take your arms up towards the sky, round your spine and hinge and fold, and come to Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Bending your elbows out to the side. You might take your hands on the floor. Just kind of want to seal our practice with a nice hugging in, forward fold. So that all the new energies and all the new openings that we did for us on the very deeper layers, that they can be integrated and stay with us and help us to feel better, feel brighter, feel more at ease, feel more updated, and feel a little higher vibration. We'll take one more breath here. And then slowly coming up to a seat. You could choose to stay in your forward fold, or you might choose to come up with your legs up towards the sky and place your hands on each side of your hips. Press your palms down, lift your hips up and over, coming to an upward facing forward bend with your hands over towards your feet. So same shape that we were in, but a little bit of a different form. Getting a different angle on the spine, different pressure on the spine, on the legs. And then take your hands down to the side and support yourself with your hands as you roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down with your seat. Bend the knees, take your arms out to the side, and we'll come back to the beginning of class where we twisted our waist in tabletop legs and knees side to side. Shoulder blades stay on to the floor yoga mat. The knees stay as stacked as they can, and we're simply coming over towards the hips. And doing one extra check into the waist, and also to neutralize the spine, to neutralize the poses, letting them go into where they need to be in our deeper layers. One more each side. Bringing it up and over, and last one, taking it up towards the center. Bring your knees into the chest and squeeze your knees in. And gently release the hands under the knees. Roll yourself either to the side or up to a comfortable seat on your mat. We're going to cross the legs. and sit with the new updated vibrations that we created for ourselves. We just want to make sure that they get to integrate into all the layers where they need to go. So let's take a comfortable seat. Maybe you're sitting on a pillow, on a blanket, maybe you're sitting on a block, anything that works for you. And let's turn the palms up for any information download that might want to come to us right now. And we'll just sit with that for a moment. Sitting nice and tall on the sit bones with an elongated spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Open feet. There might be a nice buzzing in the feet of energy. And gently bring the palms together in front of the heart. Give yourself a few nice breaths. We'll take an Om together to close our practice before Savasana. Take a nice big inhale. Let's keep the palms together and bring them over the head. Temple Mudra. Blessings to all of our layers that brought us together on our yoga mat today, and to all of those that have paved the path before us. And I also like to think of that middle finger and all the fingers as little antennas of downloading new vibrations, new updated vibrations for us. We'll bring that into our heart and let it sip through the body. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was a kind of a quick paced basic yoga practice to update our vibrations. I hope you feel great right now, right here. And I highly recommend to take 5 to 10 minutes in Savasana so that you feel at ease when you go about with the rest of your days. Thank you so much. I'm going to take Savasana with you. Taking the palms out to the side. I like to take the feet as wide as the mat and arrange my lower back and my sacrum. Press the head and just have like a nice time. Maybe you have a blanket over you. Maybe you have some beautiful music playing. Maybe you're listening to birds. Breathing nice and softly through all the layers. You can take your right hand to your heart center and your left hand to the belly. It's like a great way of being comforted, of being balancing the chakras in your body, balancing the energy. It's like a recycling version of just kind of purifying and cleaning and clearing all of the energies that we moved about, and making sure that the appropriate energy stays with us, and the ones that we turned and churned, they can go somewhere where they need to be and be more used. And we will stay open to new vibrations coming our way.